Hey everybody, it's Davi with Davi Davenport Live. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Just so many things are going on in 2016. It seems like the year just got started, but then when I think about some of the amazing guests that we've had on the show, it makes my heart pitter patter. You've been with me down so many with exciting avenues and roads. We did some entertainment segments this year. We also started to dabble a bit into our cooking segment, which I'm so excited. I got several emails from people, and I want to say hello to Alexandria Davis, who sent me a message and said that her family was the #1 family to come on Davi Davenport Live. Alexandria, I love that recipe that you sent out to me. And guess what? You just might be. Michael Rinchi's family also already from Pasadena has come on the show. We went out into Michael's home, which you guys got a chance to meet Michael here in the studio. And Michael is on his way to winning that Amana Kitchen that Davi Davenport Live is going to be giving away. Now, I'm so excited because I've been blessed, and that's exactly what I want to call it. I've been blessed to have a brand new crew. And some of them are brand new because actually my director of photography, Lloyd Cordero, is actually in studio now with me as well. And his son, Joel Cordero, is working as my technical director. I have the wonderful Brianna Mims is on board with us. And also Jacqueline Keenan has come on board. Now, Jacqueline has come on board with us as a Davi Davenport Live, as the audio engineer. I'm a little tongue-tied here, getting a little rolling. I'm excited about my guest that's on here with me today, is joining me with the show. And also Brianna has come on as our floor manager. Super, super excited. I'd actually like to pull up a picture for you guys and show you the crew of Davi Davenport Live. Now, that's us out having a great time, acting silly, having fun. Right to the left, you'll see that's actually Jacqueline having fun in the green shirt. You'll see Brianna right behind her with the russet colored pants having fun. You see the smiles on their faces. They are having a great time. Lloyd standing directly to my left, I believe that's Lloyd Cordero. He's my director of photography, hangs out with me all over everywhere. Technical director, hanging low in the background. That's Joel. He's amazing. He's also a professional photographer. Super excited. The crew is amazing. Davi Davenport Live is in a place that we've never been before with just some amazing, amazing people. Now, you know that I'm all about the anti-bullying. I'm all about, I introduced you to the Davi Davenport We're All the Same Inside doll, and I'm going to get one out for you right here. This is my Davi doll that my friend Tim Bellavia made for me, and that's my Davi Davenport Live We're All the Same Inside. All about love, all about positivity. And then Tim also made me, when it was Diana Ross's birthday, he made me, that's right.
2 twins.
Oh my God, I'm dropping stuff all over. Excuse me, guys. It's live show, so we have to have fun. But Diana came on for her 72nd birthday, and we had fun. What this really means is that, we're all the same inside. I'm all about, stop the bullying. All that matters. We just can't not be involved with any negativity at all. And that's exactly what my guest is coming on the show today. Now, I met this gentleman about a year ago, and we instantly became friends, and I love what his movement is all about. He's a CEO and founder of the Bully Awarenes Network. And not only is Dr. JJ Spinner a community advocate, but he's also a person that at any given moment you'll find him doing something special for a family, doing something one-on-one. A lot of people say that they're doing things in the community and it has to be like a big crowd for them to go out. What I love about Dr. Spinner is that if it's one kid that needs to have a conversation held with them, a family that needs to have some counseling, he does things at different churches. He does things, and a huge shout out to the Tom Bradley Center for all the things that they're doing. We want to talk to you about it because someone mentioned to us that the Tom Bradley Center was going to be closing, so we're going to be working on that. But I tell you what, I'm going to introduce you right now to my guest. I want to show you a quick picture of him first. When he was out last week at the Tom Bradley Center, and having a blast. He was at the podium doing what he does best, and that's just spreading the message of love. Can we pull that picture up, guys? There he is. That's Dr. JJ Spinner. Just amazing. And that picture shows you exactly, he probably was speaking to a kid right then and mentoring from the podium and saying something positive to them. When I want to hear something great and I need to talk to someone that I know is motivational, I give JJ a call. He's really amazing. JJ, what's up?
You got it. You got it. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for having me on your show. I'm just tremendously blessed. Thank you for all the warm, wonderful words you had to say.
I almost did 5 minutes in there.
Yeah,
I looked at the talk. I was like, am I doing it? Because I will get to talking, okay?
Yeah, I was wondering who you were talking about at first. I was like,
I love it. Wow, so welcome to Davi Davenport Live.
Finally. Finally.
Yes.
It's been a beautiful year. Going through the things of, anti-bullying and,
Yes.
doing some of the events and just seeing you, just show up because, you're such a big supporter.
Oh,
And
thank
I just
you.
really appreciate you and just glad to be here.
And thank you so much. Actually, to the viewer, I met two of the young ladies that are the actual interns. I met Brianna and I met Jacqueline at the Bully Awareness Network event. And that was exciting for me. I met these young ladies and they stood out to me. And I like when people assert themselves in a positive way, and they're really, really just brilliant. So thank you for sharing them.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you for sharing them because I know that you cherish the young people that work with you.
And I met them the same way too. So
Wow.
we definitely want to empower our youth. I mean, they do a fabulous job wherever they go, and they definitely stand
Yes.
out. And I just want to present them with as much opportunities as possible.
Wow, that is amazing.
Mhm.
So many people talk about wanting to do something. People talk about they're going to
Yes.
start a program. They're going to do.
Mhm.
What exactly? I was going to say how, but what exactly inspired you to start the Bully Awareness Network?
First of all, it was the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit led me. It's like
Yes.
an anointing.
Yes.
Sometimes you try to do things and they don't work out,
Yes.
but the anointing just kept everything falling in place.
Yes.
And I knew all my life it was a mission to advocate or to have advocacy for about bullying.
Okay.
Because it's always been very dear to my heart, being a former educator for
Yes.
22 years
Yes.
and a school psychologist.
Mhm.
So I know the importance of it.
Were you ever bullied as a child at all? You probably or were you the bully?
No, actually, because of my height, being, I'm 6'11" now, but I was always taller than everyone else.
Sure, I was also. Yeah.
So people would assume that, but and rest in peace, Prince
Yes.
and guys like Michael Jackson,
Yes.
they were the icons of your peers.
Yes.
So when it came to a guy that was already 6'2" in the fifth grade,
Yes.
they were like Jolly Green Giant. Here come
Mhm.
Jaws from 007. So
Yeah.
the name taunting,
Yeah.
and I think that's worse than even the physical acts of bullying.
When I was a kid, because I was so fair-skinned, I'm African American, I was so fair-skinned,
Mhm.
they would try to tease and say things like albino and different things like that. Or, I'm from the African American community, and they would, hey, white girl and all that. And, I am from an interracial relationship, so it was like, for me, it's like, I never wanted to bully anybody. I was always the one that would protect someone. If they say, so I had a girlfriend of mine that had a little bit of a disability. She had to wear one of the shoes that had like a little platform in it. And Yvette, I always wanted to protect her and make sure that she was okay. So, because I know what it made me feel like for people to say something. I was always the one like, guess what? I'll knock you down. You want to bully me? I tell you what. I mean, so they learned early, don't bully Davi Davenport.
Right.
Does the Bully Awareness Program have a mentoring component to it? I mean, can you tell the viewer and I a little bit more about exactly what the Bully Awareness Network has involved with it?
I added recently the component of mentoring.
Okay.
Because when I started the Bully Awareness Network, I didn't want it to be a literature-based network where we just send out pamphlets and
we have enough of those.
Hey, stop the bullying.
Don't you bully?
Yeah.
If you bully, you're gonna be hey you, Mr. Bully.
And with my events, I wanted to have counselors
Yes.
there. I want to have sessions where if a kid is being bullied or willing, is about on the verge of committing suicide,
Yes.
he can reach out and get help and support. And that's really what it was all about with me.
Yes.
But then the mentoring, just growing up in the inner city, big inner city like I did grow up in, it's very few mentors to help shepherd young people through the whole process of every decision that they make in life.
Yes.
And then also present options, because I think that's what also helps with bullying. See, it's not just, people always just focus so much on the act
Yes.
that they don't focus on the neglect.
Yes.
And a lot of times it's in neglect. And oftentimes we often bully ourselves.
A lot of parents start that bullying inside the household.
Right.
A lot of the kids, I work with a lot of the students at Crenshaw High School with Dr. Iris Stevenson. She's a very good friend of mine. And Iris, if you're tuning in right now, I love you. You know I adore you. Hey.
Crenshaw High.
Crenshaw High School, we love you. And a lot of the kids there will talk about some of the things that their parents say to them, and it's bullying.
Right.
It's flat out bullying. You're not going to be anything. And a lot of times they're really
Exactly.
mirroring what they feel about themselves. And I tell the students in a positive way, I say, I don't ever talk negatively about their parents, obviously, but I'll say, pray for your mom, or I'll say, just, you can't, you have to be careful with, how religious you go. What it's, but I let them know, I love God, and everybody knows that about me, period, point blank, period, that is what it is. But I'll say, don't take it personal. If anything, just maybe if you say positive things, because they'll say, oh, she said I was ugly, or she said I was fat, or she said I was stupid. And a lot of times the parents that would say that were some parents that unfortunately were very undereducated themselves.
Right.
So they're saying that. So what if they're doing is they're kind of regurgitating out something that they're feeling about themselves.
And that's a good point, Davi, because one thing I want to look towards doing is parent support groups.
Yes.
Because it has to be reinforced in the home too. Because you can work with the kid and mentor the kid, but if the parent does not buy into that system, then it's not going to work.
Absolutely.
Because their folk theory is going to be pushed upon the kid.
Yes.
And it's about self-perception, so we have to really kind of build on their self-esteem and make them love themselves.
Yes. I was really alarmed by the amount of young people that I've seen worldwide that have actually been committing suicide because of cyberbullying.
Oh wow! Yeah.
And it was like an epidemic last year. Every time I looked up, and I have an 18-year-old son, so I talked to my son about a lot of things with him. He said, "Mom, yeah, it's really big, and the girls are just taunting the other young ladies, and boys also are." And then a lot of the kids that were coming out as maybe announcing that they were gay, and that then they were cyberbullied. Now I said, well, why don't they just turn the screen off? And that's my thing. I would think, why don't you? But
right now, during our era growing up, it wasn't about cyberbullying.
Yes.
So parents would say, go in there and handle your situation, and now, because they feel trapped because of cyberbullying. It makes them, when they go home, and it's not just about turning your screen off, because it's the phone.
Yes.
The phones are now the vehicle for these kids. It's no longer the big computer monitor, but everywhere they go, they're seeing it in their phone, and they feel like they're trapped, and then their friends team up on them, and and everyone else is doing it as well. So they feel like, do I really have any value? Do I really belong here?
Yeah, and I'm sorry to interject and interrupt you. I think that we really need to consider having these kids put the phones down. One of the things that I do with my cooking segment is really to advocate sitting down with your family. When I was coming up, I'm old school. We had dinner together pretty much every night for the most part.
Yes.
Always on Sundays. We just spent time together. That was a time where nobody could call on the phone. We sat down with one another. Sometimes we'd watch good programs on television, but there was no television going on while we were eating.
Yeah.
We just didn't do that. We weren't interrupted by external factors. And I mean, literally, I was out to dinner with even my own son, and we both had our phones in our hands for a second, and I stopped us. I was doing it also. And we're kind of desensitizing ourselves. I look and I see kids videotaping fights rather than breaking them up.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And it's a form of communication too. See, when we stop, like I said, the cell phones, from texting, it's no more direct. It's not any direct communication amongst the parents and their kids to find out what's going on in their lives. And I mentioned that in my book as well, to take time out daily and find out what's going on. Have you met any new friends? What's going on in the school? How's the teacher? How are you interacting with the teacher? And then also too, like I said, bullying doesn't. People just think of it as a thing with the kids at school, but it's also in the home. It could be domestic violence and issues like that really impact a family as a whole.
Yes. So many times kids see their moms or dads, because it's no longer just, a man doing it to a woman only. It happens a lot of times with men. Men just don't discuss it much.
Right.
A lot of men are being bullied at home by their wives or bullied at home by their girlfriends or whatever, but you hear about it more commonly with women being, and a lot of times the kids are seeing, because men don't speak up because you're supposed to be strong, but a lot of times the kids are seeing the society. And which is a shame, because we need to allow the men to speak up as well. If they're being bullied, they should be able to speak up. But so many times the kids see one or the other parent bullying one another, talking down to one another. So they actually incorporate this into their lifestyles, and then they take that out to their friends at their schools and their environments. Even the whispering, oh, shut up, you're not going to do. I've seen them, and I stop them. I go, I saw what you did. I saw what you did. That was inappropriate. That wasn't good. And they'll go, oh, Miss Davi, I'm sorry, but he did so. I said, well, you know what? Let's talk about it. we've got to open up the doors to communication again.
Right, and my new slogan for the TV show that I'm working on is "Speak Up, Stand Out."
Yes, I'm excited.
And that's the name
I'm
of it.
working
So
as
you guys
the
be looking
executive
for it.
producer of
Yes,
that.
yes, you are.
Yes.
And I got that from that because a lot of people aren't speaking up when they see acts of bullying.
Yes.
And we really have to focus on
like
loving, not only loving ourselves, but loving other people.
Yes.
And that's what that's a
and
key
I love
component.
you, JJ.
I appreciate
I
that.
love you.
I love
you
you too.
As an individual. I love you for what you're doing with the young people. I respect what you're doing. You know, we have to grab that respect back with one another as well, you know.
Right.
And give one another a reason to respect one another. When I say I respect you, I mean because of who you are as an individual, not just to say it just to be saying it. And we can love one another.
Right.
We become so like that, oh, what do you mean you love someone? I can meet someone immediately and know if I love them. I love these kids that are working with me already. I just met Jacqueline and Brianna. I love them. You know, I already feel, you know, when I'm excited when I know that today, when I knew I was going to see everyone, when Lloyd and I are together, it's a feeling of love, and Joel and I are together. It's a feeling of love. So we have to take that back again to loving one another, caring about one another.
And that's the essence of it, because so many people are trying to find out, how do you end bullying? You know, how do you end it? Because like you said, suicide numbers are growing every day, and you start to see it more and more. But unless we start taking our families back, bringing the love back into the home, where parents are starting to communicate with one another. I have a workbook where they fill out a sheet about when they're interacting with their child. And then you look at patterns, but see, so many patterns are going on that parents aren't aware of. They're not, the kid is going to sleep early, or he's not doing his homework, or he's doing poorly in school. And immediately they attack the kid and say, why aren't you paying attention to the teacher, as opposed to like, what is wrong?
Yes, what's wrong? Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it, because see, so many times the parents have to work, and after they get off work, they're tired, and they don't want to deal with the issues.
Yes. Do you find that young people are on the internet too much unsupervised? Because a lot of times the kids are in their rooms and they're online.
Right.
I mean, there's some young ladies that are actually online doing pornographic things, and their parents have no idea until someone tells them.
Right.
They're actually on there these are teenage girls. I've seen it. These girls are exposing their body parts and all that. Do you think that as parents, because we're old school,
right?
My mom knew what I was doing.
Exactly.
If she didn't know, my grandmother would take a switch and whip me up the street if I rode my bike off the block. I told you not to ride that bike off the block. And I got my new little red bike, and I rode off the block, and a neighbor called and said, I just saw your granddaughter on the next block.
And the community actually helped.
The community kicked in and helped.
Yeah, they would help, and because we used to get whipped right in front of the house. And then so everybody, the community would be cheering.
I know. That's a form of bullying.
Yes.
We were getting bullied.
But the humiliation would make you turn around the behavior as well. But no, I agree. My wife was telling me that. She was telling me that, with her boys, that, it was, she said, what's going to protect them from going on the internet? Yes.
I love you, Sister Lon.
She's actually in D.C. now, praying
you.
at the White House. But, kids, that are in elementary school, they can go on the internet, they can pull up anything on YouTube, and it's all over the place. So even though we might have certain filters to block certain access to different sites, parents have to monitor more closely, and also because they have the cell phones as well. So I know certain school districts that I have talked to as well, they have blocks where the kids cannot even use the cell phone at the school sites.
Wow. Is there a block, meaning that there's something that actually happens to their phones?
Like when they're trying to text another kid while they're on campus to bully them, it blocks the access to text.
Oh, nice.
Yes, while they're on campus.
Some young lady did an app, but she was a teenager that did some sort of an app. She was on Steve Harvey's show one day, and I was watching it, and some kind of app she created that it sends, when they get ready to do the texting, if it has some sort of violent, and it says, stop. Are you sure you want to send that text?
Wow.
So it's like, because a lot of times, you know how you send a message to, so that's why they say always pause. You send a message out, even adults have done it, and send a message and then you're like, I wish I hadn't said that. Had I just paused for a second with that. Can you tell the viewer and time flies so much when you're having fun. Like when you're having a great time, it's like time is just flying. I've got to get you back on the show. I'm super excited about working with you on the project. I'm honored.
All of them, so many of them.
So many things that we're doing together.
Right.
Can you tell us a little bit about your book?
You know, my book is really a personal attribute to myself, but also it's more than that. I'm coming out with the mentor series. So because I want to talk to parents about how do you finance a kid's, you know, college education, because we got to give our youth options.
Yes.
Options are the key, because if we always focus on the problem, then we're never going to focus on the solution.
Options.
Yes.
Options.
And so once we instill that, then that gives a sense of hope.
Yes.
Because when kids feel hopeless, then that's when the negative behaviors, the antecedents, the triggers, all those things come out, because their self-perception, their self-worth, their self-value, their self-love. And it starts with themselves and refocusing, you know, getting them to really, you know, that's why mentor programs are so important. All this is mentioned in the book. And I just said, but it's not, I keep on writing more and more books because I see the need.
And I like that you have workbooks that, when I came out to your Bully Awareness event, and I actually have had the opportunity, for anyone that's tuning in, I've had the opportunity to work the red carpet at one of Dr. Spinner's events, and it was super exciting, and so many wonderful people that were out at that particular time. And what I love about it is that, you know, you give a means to an end, and by that I mean, okay, it's not just a book for them to read, but you give the book and then you give a workbook, so you're actually able to work through what, you know, because if you just have a book, okay, because I love to read. I'm a reader. But I love books. I just recently got my real estate license, so I'm super excited. I passed the test April 29th, so hey, anybody out there needs somebody to give some real estate, I'm your girl.
Yeah.
Super, super excited. And I like that Gary Keller, that he's adamant, and just adamant about having a workbook with his books, like I've done. And I also like audiobooks as well. Like I love to listen to a book. That's another big thing for me now. Like I go through them in droves now. But I like that because when I was out at your event just recently at the Tom Bradley Center, you had you gave them some goals, some worksheets on some goals.
Right.
Setting their business plan up.
Right.
Now I took that business plan myself home.
Oh, okay.
I shared it with my son. And he was actually he was out of state doing it, but I shared it with him because he's a young businessman. And hey, Miles, if you're out there, hey, son, I love you. And I know you always tune in to Davi Davenport Live. Thank you. Thanks for all your support, son. I really love you. Big, big, huge. Go to maxwonders.com. Check out his music. I'm so proud of my son. He's doing everything. maxwonders.com. I love you. And he was like, Mom, this is brilliant. Like, he thought it was amazing. And he thought that if his friends, you know, if they all had something like that, he even said, like, this should be in school.
You know, and I made it a version just for young people.
Yes.
So it's not a version, because like I said, it's all about creating options and making them believe that they could do new things that even though their parents might not have exposed them to. But what I plan on doing is at the events making them vendors. So actually they could take the business plan and make it come alive.
Yes.
And see, that's the most important thing to me, is that they get that experience and that they could believe in themselves that, hey, I could do this.
Yes.
And they understand the concept. Because, you know, we as people were more consumers as opposed to producers. So that's what we need to start focusing on.
On being producers.
Yes,
exactly.
On being producers as opposed to always spending money and giving it out. But that's what's so important amongst our youth, is just really giving them the opportunities and present that to them, because it makes learning come alive.
I love what you said, like sometimes just saying a positive word to somebody.
Absolutely.
You know, and giving them, making them self-aware or aware of the fact that about their self-worth.
Right.
You know, and that you can do something. I've said to kids before, you know what, you're really smart. And they are. It'd be something that they've done. And they go, what do you mean? And I would have just said they're really smart. And they say, what do you mean?
Right.
And a lot of times they've never heard that before in relation to themselves. Oh, I'll say, I really like the way you did that. How did you do it? I always like I just like to shine a bright light on the young people. Right. I've been an advocate since I was in my 20s. I just love shining a bright light. And for anybody that's tuning in right now, do me a favor, go to DaviDavenportLive.com, DaviDavenportLive.com if you have a show idea, if you have a family that you know that's in need. Dr. Spinner and I are going to be doing some amazing things. We have a huge event that's going to be coming up on April the 29th.
29th.
That's what I say. Oh, April's already over. April 29th is the day I passed the test. I've got April 29th on the brain. April 29th is over. So May 29th, we have a huge event that's coming on. What's the venue?
Busby's.
At Busby's on Pico.
And it's our second annual Mega Fest anti-bullying event.
Second annual Mega Fest anti-bullying event. Super. We're going to be doing backpacks at that event also, some backpacks, right?
Right, and we have tons of celebrities that have reached out to me, and I'm just so happy that people like Sam Watson, who's Floyd Mayweather's promoter, wants to bring Floyd actually, and he's working very diligently on that.
Don't try to beat anybody up now. It's anti-bullying Floyd.
No. He's actually, this is a part where he's not going to be he's going to be definitely for anti-bullying.
Yes.
And then we have, Tyrone DuBois, he's going to be there.
Got Mel Jackson from The Wire's coming out.
And then we have Ernest Thomas.
Ernest Thomas is coming
out. So I mean, the list is, several kid
got a lot
actors.
of young kids, a lot of young, very talented young people that are going to be performing. We got Ashley Green that we're working on right now. Tim Johnson's going to be coming out. What's the wonderful kid that I met the other day, the cute Asian kid that's coming on board?
Oh, Mike, they call him Mikey.
Mikey, we love you, Mikey. You are so cute. Mikey's
and then we have Christian Isaiah, who's a big-time young actor, too.
Yes.
So we have a lot of kids, and every day it's more and more that they want to take part. And it's not just the fact that they're actors, but it's just the advocacy that when they go back, kids look up to them.
Yes.
So if they see them promoting those values, then hopefully it'll resonate to others. So that's the key.
Tell us a little bit, and we got 2 minutes just left.
Okay,
This has gone by so fast. I'm so excited.
Yes, it has.
What exactly, we talked about the 29th, a little buzz at everybody that I know you're working on a school because there's something else that we're working on together.
Right.
But it's your baby.
Well, it's our baby, actually, because to give birth to it, it takes a community.
Yes.
It's not one person.
Yes.
And definitely, when I was in high school, and I went to Crenshaw High School, some of the things there, like going to the restrooms and things like that, it was a challenge. It was some challenges there. And for certain kids that maybe, just like have a safe zone, that's where it's a big key for me, is creating a school with a safe zone. Not only that, with a curriculum that brings in those components that have been taken out. Uh-oh, what do we have there?
Yeah! I love somebody that bears guests. Oh, look it up. Can I say?
Uh-oh.
I think it'll fit. It'll be real tight. Stop the bullying. This was a gift that Dr. Spinner brought out for me today.
Yes.
It's mandatory, everybody, that this is what we do. We stop the bullying. You heard it right here on Davi Davenport Live. If you're at home right now and you're being bullied and you need some help, reach out. Go to DaviDavenportLive.com. What's your website?
Oh, the Bully Awarenes Network.org.
The Bully Awarenes Network.org. Make sure that you go out to his website. If you are in need, you just make that call. Go online, leave us your information, whatever you do. I love you so much. You're tuning in to Davi Davenport Live. It's been amazing. Dr. Spinner, you're incredible.
Thank you.
JJ, everybody calls him Big Spin. Guess what? Not because of his height, but because of his heart. That's exactly what it's all about. I love you guys. Stay tuned. Next week, you've got Stephanie Bulkhalter on with the Bulkhalter agent. Oh, my God. Angels. Oh, I'm so tired. The Bulkhalter Angels, and we're announcing about her new girls line. I love you guys. Bye-bye.